Hello, good morning or good evening if you hear me in America. My name is Lamis Fayed. I am Egyptian and living and studying in Germany since 12 years. My first study was Egyptology. I studied Egyptology in the Cairo University in French section. And later on, I got a scholarship for master studies in Germany. And my master studies was in Coptology. This is the Christian Egypt, or Egypt in Christian period. Then I choose to continue in philosophy and religion. So currently, I write my second master in Jewish philosophy. During these years, or during my stay in Germany, I was engaged in interreligious dialogues, and that's why I started to have this channel. I have set up this YouTube channel to explain new concepts for Egyptians and Arabs that like what is Abrahamic religion, what is interreligious dialogues, and accidentally came with me the Afrocentric. Afro or African studies has been always an interest for me. And when I was a student, I read the work of Sheikh Anta Diop, and I liked it very much. Of course, there are some remarks and some critics in it, but in general, this is about culture. And why I made this video, it represents me and many other Egyptian intellectual and even simple Egyptian people who refuse the hate and the clashes that has been going on since almost 2 years between Afrocentric intellectuals or fans, whether in Africa or in America, and between the young Egyptian youth, especially the nationalistic or the new nationalist movement. So it breaks my heart when I see these offenses. And first of all, I want to apologize for the actress of Netflix documentary who interpreted Cleopatra, and to Kevin Hart, who was supposed to have a concert in Egypt, but the concert was cancelled because of the Afrocentric steering hate and racist speech and misunderstanding that has been going on from our side as Egyptians. So please accept my own apologize for you. And this is not culture, as I understand. Culture is about culture, art, is about building bridges, bringing people together, and making peace. And unfortunately, the Afrocentric, as it was received in Egypt, makes all the opposite things that I have mentioned before. So I have to say that in the last 5-6 decades in Egypt, the African studies has not been that powerful, and we have never good understood many of the new concepts like the Pan-Africanism or the Afrocentric. Even the work of Sheikh Anta Diop was not well understood and is still not well understood. Also, it has been translated in Arabic, but we should have reacted better to it. That means that we should have engaged in his opinion, and whether to accept or to refuse, but it will be still and limited to the academia and not to the public sphere, like what is going on now in social media. I have made several videos in my channel up to explain to people what is Afrocentric, some aspects about the Afro-Americans, like, for example, the curse of Ham. These areas are totally unknown for the majority of Egyptians, especially when it comes to the Afro-Americans in America. The Afrocentric, in America. We don't know each other yet well, and we need to build bridges. We need to contain the extremist voices in both sides. It breaks my heart when I see just hate is being steered, hate speech has been steered for nothing. Just no need for that. This is not culture. And some Egyptologists also in Egypt have been misled or have been I don't want to say to call famous names now, but maybe you know. But I want to assure you that this doesn't represent even the major voice of Egyptian Egyptologists. I have contacted with Professor Browder. Sorry, excuse my English. It has been a while. I haven't spoken English. In Germany, it is not that used. With Professor Anthony Browder, and I hope we can do something together in the future. My personal opinion is that the Egyptian civilization has an African spirit. Even we will not even talk just about what color was Egyptian, because Egyptians were dark-skinned and maybe also light-skinned. But there are other materials we can work on it, like religion, culture, art. And by the way, we have to now, as a people of the continent, the African people, it's a time that we have to write our own history, yes, from our own point of view. Like you know that Egyptology is born and raised by European. So where Egyptology is like, it is not even my view, it's the opinion of a famous German Egyptologist. His name is Jan Assmann, and I have translated for him several of his books in Arabic, trying to explain his opinions because on his views, because his work is very complicated. And it's mainly mainly his interest was Egypt, ancient Egypt reception in the European mentality during 18th and 19th century. And for a long time, Europeans, when they wrote about the Egyptian civilization, they wrote it from the point of view of Eurocentrics. So they preferred, for a reason or another, to integrate the Egyptian civilization not to African civilization, but rather to Middle East. My personal view about this, that the Egyptians civilization or ancient Egypt is a production with the African spirits. There are much materials we can study, we can compare to improve the view of Afrocentric, or to try to approach the views of Egyptians and of Afrocentric intellectuals. That's what I have for today. I hope it will not be my last video in English. I made this video extra to try to reach, to address Africans and to address the Afro-Americans. And I repeat my apologizes for you, for any offensive comments that came from officials, Egyptologists, or even young Egyptian youth. I have heard from Professor Anthony Browder that when greetings, he writes at the end of his email Hotep, which means peace in ancient Egyptian language, or like a shalom in Hebrew. I liked it very much, so I tell everyone to you Hotep, and it will be continued. Bye bye.